Hi everyone. I decided to make a video because I get a lot of questions on Tumblr about my sexuality and basically kind of how I figured out I was gay and how I dealt with it, at first. So I decided that making a video would be a good idea because I do get that question a lot and I do have a lot of things to say about the subject. I guess I will start from the beginning. I first realized that I was gay when I was in high school, but before that, I did have an experience in junior high where I did fall kind of for this girl that was in my class, and I didn't really understand how I was feeling. I saw her as my friend, but I loved her, and I didn't realize it at the time that I loved her more than I loved, just being a friend. And she just made me so happy, and I don't know, it was just a really weird feeling for me, but I really didn't think anything of it, and I kind of just pushed it aside and forgot all about those feelings. And then in high school, I started to kind of feel it again. There were a couple girls in my high school that were known as being bi and stuff, and I just remember, kind of having crushes on them, but, not really realizing that I had a crush on them. But the way that they made me feel when I talked to them, it was just really, it was really confusing. Then when I was about a sophomore or a junior, I can't really remember, I went to this party, and there was a girl there, and she was just, so beautiful, and I just remember I couldn't take my eyes off of her, the whole night, and eventually, we ended up kissing at the end of the night, and it was, literally sparks went off, and, fireworks, and, well, at least for me, and, I just remember just, having this feeling that I've never felt before, because I did date guys when I was in, junior high, and I didn't have boyfriends in high school, though. That's when I kind of stopped liking guys. But I didn't realize that I stopped liking guys. I just thought that maybe it was because I couldn't find anyone at my high school. So I did date guys before, and I never had that feeling, ever. It was just always, when I dated guys, it was always oh, we're really cool friends, but I don't know, it was just never anything like that night was when I kissed my first girl. After that moment, even though I was so happy and I was just adrenaline's rushing, I was really, really confused. I remember, going back home and kind of just sitting myself down and just thinking about everything. I thought maybe that, I was just confused, or maybe that I was bi, or maybe that it was just kind of a phase that I was going through because I couldn't find any guys at my high school that I liked. And I really, started to hate myself because I just thought, this is wrong. I'm why is this happening to me? I remember thinking that a lot. Why is this happening to me? Why me? Everything else in my life, why this now? Just another thing for me to worry about. So, for a couple months, I really, really hated myself. And I just didn't want to think about it. I tried to think about how my life would be like if I were to just, come out and say that I'm a lesbian. And it made me so sad because I think that when you're growing up, you're taught that, girls are supposed to marry guys and guys are supposed to marry girls. So that's always what I've, ever thought about, was marrying a guy and having kids and having a house. But then now I'm finding out that I'm having feelings for girls, and now it's going to be me marrying a girl. And having to figure out how I'm going to have kids, because I really want kids, and obviously 2 girls can't have kids together. So it was just, back then it was really confusing for me, and it was really upsetting. And like I said, I hated myself for it. And I think no one really, when they figure out that they like girls, they're just like, oh yeah, like, this is awesome. I think they're scared, and I think a lot of people share that similarity, in that they're scared, whether how long it takes them to get over that fear, or if they ever get over that fear. It's a scary thing at first to think about. Then I remember that, like, towards my end of junior year, I started realizing, like, going back in my life and realizing, wow, how did I miss that? Like, watching movies, I would always watch the girl in the movie. I would never be interested in the guy characters. And all the guys that I did say that I liked had women features. Like, they had really pretty blue eyes. Like, blue eyes are, like, my weakness. And they had really pretty blue eyes, or they had a really pretty smile. And it was never like, oh my god, he's really handsome. It's like, no, he's really pretty. But it's like, I don't know. And just me realizing just friends that I had, like, I had little mini crushes on friends in elementary school. I never really realized it until I started thinking about it. And I can even date back all the way to kindergarten. I used to have the biggest crush on my kindergarten teacher, and I used to make her these little boxes out of shoe boxes, and I would wrap them in, like, wrapping paper and, like, write, like, stuff on them, and then I'd, like, pick flowers from her garden and put flowers in the box and, like, send it to the office and be like, can you send this to Miss Jorgens? And, like, oh my gosh. I wonder if she even remembers that. Anyways, but, yeah, so it's like, I just started to really, really think about it. I don't know, eventually my life started to make sense. That's when I started to realize that, okay, this is for real, it's not going away. I didn't want to hate myself anymore, because it was really tearing me up inside. And then I just started to not care anymore what people would think. I remember in this time figuring out, myself, and figuring out that I was gay, I did come out to my mom, and I did say that in my coming out video, that I came out to her first, and this was around the time when I came out to her. It was when I was really starting to realize it, and that it wasn't going to go away. And I think coming out to her helped me a lot, because my mom and I are really so close, and I knew that I always had her to talk about things with. So, if I was confused, or if I had, like, a crush on a girl, like, I knew I could talk to her. It wasn't, because she accepted me. So, I had someone. So, that was kind of, like, how I dealt with it. Like I said, it took me a while to love myself again, and, love who I was, and love that I was gay. I didn't overnight love myself and love the fact that I was gay. But I do now. I love being a lesbian. I love loving women. And I love rainbows. How my friends dealt with it. I only came out to a very small group of friends that I had that I was really close with. And when I came out to them, I was really scared, because I didn't want to lose them, and I didn't want my high school experience to just be, like, total shit, because I lost all my friends. But when I did come out to them, they asked a lot of questions, but most of them were just like, it's kind of whatever, there's no big deal, let's go on to talking about Twilight. because that's what was popular when I was in high school. I was really lucky to have such amazing friends. I wouldn't trade them for anything or anyone. And they really helped this whole process. Like, they really helped me come out to other people because of their positive feedback towards it. And then I just really started not caring what other people would think. When I did come out to everyone once I got out of high school, I put on my Facebook that I like women, and I started becoming more open about liking women and putting stuff on my statuses and putting pictures on my Facebook and, just everything. I was just, at that point, I was like, I really don't care what any of you guys say, because I'm never going to see any of you guys again. And if you accept me, that's really cool. If you don't, then I'm going to delete you from my life. And I was coming into a point where I was going into college, so I knew that I was going to be out in college, so I was going to meet people who were going to know that I was gay, and I wouldn't have to come out to them because they would already know, because I was very, very openly gay in college. And if they wanted to be my friend, that was cool. If they didn't, then that's cool too. I just didn't care anymore. Being out in college actually really wasn't a big deal, except for the fact that I got questioned a lot. Or I got a lot of questions from all the straight girls. They're so curious. It's so funny. It's so funny to me because I get this from almost every straight girl that finds out that I'm a lesbian. They just ask me all these questions, and I know they're curious, women are curious. And I think about it, and I'm just like, I'm gay, but I don't think I'd ever have been curious enough to ask a girl what it's like to be with a guy, because I don't want to know. But it's just funny to me that I've never felt that way. I've never felt curious enough to ask them what it's like, or how do you feel, or I don't know, just everything. But yet they want to know how it is to be with a girl and all these other questions that I don't even want to get into right now. But, yeah, so I always thought that was funny to me. I don't know, do you guys feel that? Like, any lesbians out there, or gay people that have had, or gay guys that have had that experience where their straight friends ask them how, it is? And have you ever been curious about what it's like to be with a guy? I don't know. This lesbian hasn't. I know it's really hard to accept that you're gay. And I find a lot of comfort going to my Tumblr and knowing that, people are trying to find themselves and they ask me questions, and I really don't mind answering questions about this subject because I know how scary it is. And I know how long it took me to finally love myself, and I would hope that everyone who is questioning themselves will one day love themselves for being who they are, because there are so many other people that are like you, and you're really not alone. So that's pretty much all I had to say. I hope this video kind of shed a light on certain questions that maybe you have, or questions about my life that you found out. And yeah, keep sending me all of your questions on Tumblr. And I will talk to you later. Bye.